discussion purposes, I think it's easiest to think about the index in terms of its 5 content areas. The 42 components get lumped into one of 5 areas. And basically, if you want to do well on this index, you're going to need to do well in all 5 of these areas. The blues are the upper quartile, the upper 25%, the greens are the second, and the yellows are the third, and the reds, kind of an old communist thing, the reds are the worst. China is rated very low, well, very low on the index. They're 82nd out of 141, they're below the midpoint. China's a very tough case as well. You know, our methodology, we give one country, one number. Inside of China, you have free market Shanghai, relatively free market Shanghai, and then you've got an outer province where the local party, Communist Party officials pretty much run it like they did in the 1970s. About as tightly controlled and repressive economic regime as ever existed on Earth. So within the same country, you have both the most free economic system probably and the least free economic system. And for better or worse, when you sort of slice and dice the data, they get a fairly middling low rating. Zimbabwe is dead last, which is really a tragedy. 20 years ago, Zimbabwe was an agricultural exporter in Africa, and one of the highest rated countries in Africa. Now that's faint praise, none of the countries in Africa get high ratings, but they were one of the highest rated countries in our index. And now they're dead last, and not only are they not exporting food anymore, they're actually, people are literally starving. Southern Africa does relatively well. Botswana and South Africa are usually the 2 highest rated African countries. They kind of trade places depending on which year the index comes out. Estonia, of course, is really very well. They're a blue country if you look closely at that. But within the old true Soviet Union, the old Russian Empire even, countries like Georgia, Republic of Georgia, and the Kazakhstan are really performing very rapidly, and they're both green. They're in the second group there. One of the things you might ask is what's the relationship between democracy or political freedom and civil liberties and this economic freedom concept? The general answer is it's a very strongly positive relationship, but there are weird countries out there like Singapore that have this I think, inconsistent mixture of economic freedom on one hand and political repression on the other. It doesn't really matter how you organize it. If you look at the blue country, the blue column, it's about an order of magnitude larger than the red. So no matter how you slice and dice the data, you're going to get a picture that says that the more economically free countries in general have more average income. Whether you're in a blue country, a green country, a red country, or a yellow country, doesn't really matter. What kind of economic system you have, free market or not, does not seem to correlate in any way with income inequality. It's simply not true that market economies in general are more unequal. It's no longer, I think, accurate to say the United States is among the very top tier in the Economic Freedom Index. And as you can see, the United States is in the top 10, it's well above the world average. But in contrast to the world average, which has been going up since 1980, especially since 1985, so very quickly, the U.S.'s number peaked in 2000. It's been on a fairly steady decline every year since. But the big drop is in area 2. We have 3 different sources here, 7 different variables, and all of them for the United States have been going down. Not just down a little bit, that's down a lot. And I think the real challenge for the economic freedom record in the United States is how do we repair the perception, at least, that property rights in the United States are not as secure and safe and sound as they were, perhaps a generation ago.